enough for our program. Inspector Eddie is here. We'll hear a word from our sponsors and come right back.
Drivers, I'm begging you to
protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Dealing well with a low reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we've got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Dealey Walwyn, people you can trust.
be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode.
All right, we'll hop straight into the program. Good morning, Inspector Eddie. Morning. Oh, hang on. Yep, say something for me.
Yes, good morning.
Oh, there you go. Good
Sharon.
morning.
Good morning to the general public. Well, I just want to convey some information to you from the Surrey Paving and Aggregate Works Plan, saying it's May 25th to 30th, 2020. And it has here, we commencing from the 25th, 2020, excavating road edge ongoing. That is at Brimstone Hill to New Guinea. It has here milling activities also, Echo Park to Sandy Point, and Crush Base and Prime Court, Echo Park to Sandy Point. Asphalting, we're doing asphalt join here, Echo Park to Sandy Point. So I just want to appeal to the drivers, the motorists, pedestrians alike, to be careful on that road, avoid speeding. You understand? I mean, don't create any risk for walkers and even for yourself, the motorists and pedestrians. So please, be careful driving on that road. I just wanted to say to you, to the general public, according to some statistics that we have here from the road accidents and so forth for this month alone, we are already up in the 20-something in Bastia only. So I just want to say again to the motorists to be careful while driving on the road. It is very important, imperative, that you actually pay attention and don't pay attention to, the apparatus that you have in your vehicles. So please be careful.
Okay, what we'll do is open the phone lines because we have a very shortened program today. If you'd like to call in, the numbers are 466-0989, 662 or 762-0989. I'll start things off with a question I received. Well, okay, let's go to the phone lines. That's the priority. Hi, good morning, caller. You on the air?
Yes, good morning, Sharon.
Morning.
Good morning, my boss.
Yes, my colleague.
Yeah, I have maybe two questions to ask. Now, every end of month, I know the police are out on the road making sure that nobody breaks the law by not renewing your driver's license or your insurance. That's one. And why is it no police on the road making sure that those people who are polluting the atmosphere with the noise stop it? And the last question, who is it irresponsible for deploying the police out in the public to do their duty? I know if you're at the top, a lot of things would have been done. Thank you very much. Time short.
All right, thanks.
Thank you very much, sir. When it comes to anybody else?
No, nobody else as yet.
Yeah, deployment of the men and duty, definitely, that come from the supervisor. Yeah, manager to supervisor straight down to subordinates. So they want to actually, entitled to deployment of the men.
Okay, and then the message I received this morning, the person is drawing to your attention that they have seen vehicles with the registration plate on the side rather than on the front of the vehicle. And also, some of those vehicles actually belong to police officers. So if you'd like to comment on that, if you realize that has been something that is being done now, what are your thoughts?
Well, actually, to be honest, I could read from the CN 16. This is in chapter 15.06, regulation 4. But I think I plan I should do this next week because the reason being, it is kind of long unless you permit me to.
Go right ahead. We
read.
don't have any calls at the
Okay,
moment.
brilliant. Okay, each plate must be rectangular and be upon it the index mark of the letter PPA, except in the case of a public service vehicle in respect of which the index mark shall be the letter H, HA, RRA, T, RTA, and the separate number assigned, and to the motor vehicle to the licensing officer, and to the index mark of and then the number shall be arranged in conformity with the arrangement of the letters and figures as shown on the diagram and as directed by the following paragraph of the schedule. Say 2. Letters and figures must be white. The background of the plate must be black, except in the case of public service vehicles, when it must be green. All letters and figures must be 3.5 inches high. Each part of every letter and figure must be 5/8 of an inch broad, and the total width of the space taken by every letter or figure, except in the case of the figure, one must be 2.5 inches. The space adjoining figures must be 1/2 inch, and there must be a margin between the nearest part of any letter, figure, and the top and bottom of the plate of at least 1/2 inch, and between the nearest part of any letter or figure and the side of the plate of at least 1 inch. Now, they're talking about the plate and the side, you said?
Yes, it's on the side as opposed to on the front of the vehicle.
As opposed to the front?
The front or the, well, I'm assuming it's the front of the vehicle.
Because, some vehicles actually comes,
With the plate off to the side?
Off to the side. So once it is visible, you have...
So if you happen to go to the car dealership and you get a vehicle and it's off to the side, then is that something, do you, as a person who is the owner of the vehicle, is that something that you bring to the traffic department's attention, or you just go ahead and license it, and if the police sees it?
If you think that it is a query, anything that you think that is not in accordance with the law, definitely, yeah, it is very important that you get on to the traffic department, you understand me, an authority that could actually point out certain, certainties in terms of the law to know if you are in accordance with the regulations or the law.
Okay.
So with that person, they could actually call also or come to me. We could actually work out something and sit down.
Okay.
But so they could actually point out to me specifically. You understand me? I don't want to misconstrue anything.
Okay, we have a call coming in. Good morning, caller. You on the air?
Good morning.
Morning.
The section of the legislation that you just read out seems to be conflicting with what you are saying, sir. Didn't you read a few moments ago that it must be in this, you described the plate, placed in the center of the front and rear of the vehicle?
No, actually what this legislation pertains to is to the numbers, the spacing and the numbers.
So you're telling me that in theory, I can put my registration plate anywhere on the vehicle I choose?
No, sir. It must be to the front.
Yeah, but to the front. What I'm saying, the concern is that many of these vehicles now have the sticker. Some of them are not physical plates; they are stickers on the corner, on the far left and far right of the front bumper. I do not believe.
Which one the bumpers? Front, left, back?
Front. Most of them are on. Most of the irregularities are on the front. On the front bumper, some of them are on the far left, some of them are on the far right. You described about the height, etc. I see vehicles with registration digits italicized, that is to say they're falling down. Some of them are in other fonts of different shapes. They definitely don't meet the width. And some of them, there's no space between letters and numbers, so you're just reading a blur.
You're correct.
And my simple question is this. Is this just another one of the rules that the police department has chosen to selectively enforce? Because if that is so, I would like to get a list of those things that I could get away with, because a blind eye will be turned to them. It just seems to me, I am so old. I remember when the only vehicles that had registrations not on the front and the back, in the center of the vehicle, were the Land Rovers run by the sugar factory all those many years ago. They were painted on to the front face because they had a flat front end. Okay? But everything else was on the center. But people now seem, for fashion, are deciding, I will now place my registration plate off to the side. I don't believe it fulfills the requirement, the intent of the law, because if my registration is too far left or right on the bumper, it makes it difficult for someone to determine what the vehicle that just came by, what the registration number of that vehicle is.
Definitely.
And so I wish I could get some clear explanation telling me so I can go out and get into fashion like everyone else and put mine off to the corner.
Well, I will advise you
in a funny design.
I will advise you not to get into the fashion. Yeah, and we'll be in accordance with the law, and definitely I'll give you some clarity, some light on that. You understand me? But do not follow the fashion.
All right. Thank you, caller. All right. We only have a few more minutes left. The numbers are 466-0989, 662 or 762-0989. Also, Inspector Eddie, for the past couple of years, before you, of course, we have been asking about the... Okay, let me take the phone call. Hang on. Hi, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning. Inspector.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I believe the regulations stipulate placing the number plate in the center of the front and the center of the rear. I believe the wording is practically center. But I will tell you this, because I do drive, and I think I could see, maybe not as good as everyone else. When you are driving towards a vehicle, even if the light of the vehicle is on bright, the first thing you're going to spot in the center of the vehicle, because the light have a tendency to shear in the center, will be the numbers.
Yeah.
You might not even recognize the color or the type, but the first thing you're going to spot is the number of the vehicle.
Definitely.
And you can see for yourself when you're driving. Even if the person failed to dim, you will glimpse the number right in the middle, because the two headlamps are sharing that shadow of a light that give you the picture of the center of the vehicle. So whenever you see the British do something, it was well planned and figured out and given to them from the design of the designers of the cars. So it was actually meant for the plate to be in the center and was to be properly lighted at the back. And so therefore, identification of the numbers is vitally important, because if you make a mistake, somebody could say it's not my car.
Yes.
Have a sir. Thank you very much for your
That is,
education.
yeah, good. Thanks, sir, for your invaluable information. But definitely, that is the reason why you see the law stipulates, it's pacing and so forth. It's for visibility. You understand me? So that you could actually see clearly.
Okay, we're getting another phone call. Hi, good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hello? Hello? Okay. Yes, it is.
Is the gentleman on your station?
Inspector Eddie?
Hello?
Yeah, Inspector Eddie here.
I think you're
Oh,
listening to
sorry.
something different. Yes, she's listening to something different. I can actually hear it in the background.
All right, okay.
Okay. Again, our numbers are 4660989 662 or 7620989. Inspector Eddie, now that the last caller brought up about the lights, remember we had spoken a few weeks back about the fact that some of the newer models of vehicles now, the lights are extremely bright, even when they are on dim. I think you had said that something was going to be done about that. Has there been any movement on that?
Definitely. We have started ticketing, a number of vehicles. Anybody we actually see, have gotten tickets. So definitely we are enforcing that section of the law.
Okay.
The law stipulates that, the lights should be white, two white lamps to the front. You understand? He didn't say neon colors. Yeah. Move along.
Okay, we are getting another call. Hi, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Morning,
Yes,
sir.
speaking of colors of lights, what are the colors are supposed to be for the front lights? I'm now having a problem where many persons have white indicator lights at the front. So sometimes you see a vehicle coming and you're not certain if that person is indicating a turn.
Yes.
They are now using the LED lights in the rear, the flashing brake lights, which are very dangerous at night. Those lights actually partially blind you because they're so bright at night. Is there any regulation? Is there anything being done about that? Because everybody is just following the trend.
Yes. Well, we are enforcing that. Yeah, when you're finished, sir. Right.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay,
good.
thank you.
Okay. The traffic department, along with a number of police in different regions and areas, are enforcing that piece of legislation that we have. The lights to the front should be white. It didn't say neon colors. The indicator should be orange. The brake light should be red. No light to the back, to the sides to indicate. It should be white. You understand? Must be orange to indicate you had an amber light. You understand me? To indicate that you're going left or you're going right. You have the brake light. But as I say, as the caller just rightly said, everybody following fashion, you see. And when you follow fashion, that is how you're going to feel it in your pocket because you're going to get a ticket. And there wouldn't be no remorse if you are being caught, using these lights. Because I cannot see you get a vehicle. The vehicle has the correct lighting. You're actually changing the lights for fashion. I cannot see. I don't see the reason in that. You understand? You know definitely it is against the law and the regulation of the land. Anyway, Sharon, thanks for being here.
Thank you for coming in.
I appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Thanks.
Drivers.